Daniel Price had just moved into his new apartment. It was small, quiet, and perfect for starting over. He expected the usual problems that came with old buildings: creaky floors, thin walls, maybe a neighbor who played loud music at night. What he did not expect was the man across the street, the man who never blinked. He first noticed him on a Tuesday evening while unpacking boxes. Through the window, Daniel saw a tall figure standing in the opposite building's window. The man wore a dark suit, old-fashioned, almost funeral-like. He stood perfectly still, staring directly at Daniel's window. At first, Daniel thought it was a mannequin, but then the man tilted his head slightly, as if acknowledging him. Daniel froze. He waited for the man to move, to blink, to do anything. But the man remained motionless, his eyes locked on Daniel's window. After a few minutes, Daniel closed the curtains and tried to forget. The next morning, curiosity won. He peeked again. The man was still there. Same suit, same posture, same unblinking stare. Daniel felt a chill crawl up his spine. He told himself it was just a strange neighbor. Maybe the man liked to stand by the window. Maybe he was lonely. Maybe he was harmless. But deep down, Daniel knew something was wrong. Days passed. The man never moved, never blinked, never left. Daniel began avoiding the window. Even with the curtains closed, he felt the man's gaze pressing through the fabric. At night, faint tapping sounds echoed on his window. Slow, deliberate, rhythmic. He lived on the 4th floor. There were no trees, no branches, no reason for tapping. One evening, Daniel invited his friend Mark over. He needed someone else to see it. When Mark arrived, Daniel hesitated before opening the curtains. He felt a strange fear, as if revealing the man would make things worse. But he needed proof. He pulled the curtains aside. The window across the street was empty. Mark laughed. "You need sleep, man." Daniel forced a smile, but unease twisted in his chest. The man had been there every day. Why disappear now? That night, Daniel woke to a sound. Slow breathing. Not his own. He opened his eyes and froze. The room was dark, but he could feel someone standing near his bed. He didn't move. The breathing grew louder, closer, as if leaning over him. He reached for his phone, but before he could grab it, the breathing stopped. Silence. He turned on the lamp. No one was there. Morning came. Daniel checked the window again. The man was back, same suit, same stare, but this time his face was closer to the glass, pressed against it, eyes wide, impossibly wide, still unblinking. Daniel's stomach turned. He closed the curtains and backed away. He couldn't stay there. He packed a bag and decided to leave for a few days. As he reached the door, 3 slow knocks tapped on the window behind him. He didn't turn around. He ran. He stayed with Mark for 2 nights. He slept better, but the feeling of being watched never left. On the 3rd day, he returned to grab more clothes. He told himself he'd be quick, in and out, no looking at the window. But when he stepped inside, the curtains were open. He hadn't left them that way. Slowly, against his will, Daniel turned toward the window. The man was gone. Relief washed over him, until he saw a reflection in the glass of a picture frame. The man was standing behind him. Daniel spun around. Empty room. His heart pounded. He grabbed his bag and fled, slamming the door. He didn't look back. He moved to another city, another building, another life. He tried to forget, but sometimes late at night, when he passed dark windows, he felt that same cold gaze on his back. He told himself it was paranoia. Until one night, walking past a shop window, He saw a reflection behind him, a tall man in a dark suit, wide, unblinking eyes, watching, waiting. And Daniel finally understood what he had feared all along. The man wasn't a neighbor, he wasn't human. And he wasn't tied to the apartment. He was tied to Daniel forever.